How's it going? And welcome back to From the Sidelines. My name is Josh, and I'm here with Chad, Devin, and Noah, and today we're going to be talking some sports. If you haven't listened to our previous episodes, you can go find those on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. We also have a YouTube. You can go subscribe to that at From the Sidelines Pod, and if you want to follow us on social media, you can find us at FTS Pod, and if you want to email us, you can email us at theftspod@gmail.com. Let's get right into it. Nice and quick. Big news in the FTS world this week. Chad got cats.
Yeah, I did get cats. Apparently, the line was minus 10,000, according to Noah, even though I was never a cat person, ever.
It was plus
you
10,000.
come across as such a cat person. I'm so sorry.
Based on
I
what
have
evidence?
done a 180, though. Like, I've never been around them, never had them. But these two kittens I got now, they're the most adorable things in the world, and I love them already.
I was informed that you are the reason that Gigi is around. So
That is correct.
I do
I told them
understand that.
You hate
Yeah.
money. You hate cash.
Yeah, I tried to get bought out to not get a dog, but I was like, I like dogs. Sorry.
I
like my animals.
As somebody who loves dogs, thank you for not selling out.
And
thank you.
Not only is Chad a dog person who got a cat, no, he didn't get just one. They got two cats. They got two cats.
Mm-hmm.
Two cats.
Yeah. It's very entertaining watching them wrestle.
Unbelievable. What are the
around the
names?
house.
What are the names?
Earl.
Earl.
My name is Earl.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Tybee, little Tybee. We call him Ty though.
Tie.
Wait, Tybee or Hybee?
Tybee.
Tybee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
Definitely.
I don't pick favorites between my children. So
Ah,
I like them all
okay.
equally.
His children.
I promise they won't listen to this. So.
We might have to get them on the pod sometime. Introduce them to everybody.
Yeah. Well, they can't meow yet. They're still trying to develop their voices.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Don't tell Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi get jealous. That's adorable, though.
Gigi will get jealous.
That is very adorable. Big congratulations to Chad for his cats. Let's get into some sports this week, boys. We got Kentucky basketball. We just watched the game.
Let's talk about some other cats, Josh.
Some other cats, yeah. I like that. I like that. That's a good call there. So, we're talking about our cats as a collective here, not just Chad's anymore. Kentucky just beat Vandy 93-77. Pretty good game. Second half looked really well. First half didn't look too hot. Let's go ahead and give our thoughts on the Vandy game, fellas. What do we think?
I made a joke to Devin while we were watching the game, and they started off so slow. Our projected over-under on points was 89.5. I was like, we'd be lucky if we break 70 at this pace. It did not look pretty in the beginning of the game. It just did not look pretty whatsoever.
I mean, it's like a letdown spot. They could be looking ahead to Tennessee. For whatever reason, we always play Vandy close when we go down there. But it was nice to, eventually in the second half pull away and actually build a comfortable lead and, not have to, stress over yet another game and actually relax a little bit. So that was nice on my end.
Wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean by go down there? Wait. You said go down.
Go down to Nashville and play on the road at Vanderbilt.
Good thing we played at home this week today.
Oh yeah, that's what I was confused about. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well,
we were the home team.
They did not notice the blue court apparently.
Yeah, or the white uniforms, or the home crowd, or the senior night festivities.
Nope.
I mean, it was a good game though. Some stuff I was a little disappointed in. Obviously, we still are rotating between three big men, and I think we should be rotating between two. I think Bradshaw is going to be like a Nick Richards kind of project. I think he's got a lot to learn. I think he needs some more muscle. Every time he's on defense, it just seems like he can't stop the person without fouling them. And I just think it's got to be Ugo and Z. I mean, Z is skilled enough, and Ugo is strong enough. So I think those are the two guys we should be rolling with. I think Cal needs to stop putting Bradshaw in and just ride with those two. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as simple as Big Z's good on offense, bad on defense. Ugo's the opposite. He's good on defense, bad on offense, and Bradshaw's just bad on both. So, I mean, at least with the other two guys, you get a plus in one of those categories. I'd like to see like Big Z start and just run our best 5 out there to start the games. I know a lot of people are like, I mean, they even said on the broadcast tonight, why does it matter? Well, it matters when you're spotting the other team 4 to 6 point leads just for fun. And then whenever you put Robin Reed in, guess what? The good things happen. So I think having the floor spacing of Big Z is just way more important. And he's not a terrible like rim protector, even in his own right. I mean, he's not very good defending on the perimeter or defending the pick and roll. But I don't think he's like terrible. I mean, some matchups, you'll have to play Ugo more minutes in the tournament. But I think on March having the versatility of him at the 5 is going to be so much more advantageous for us.
Yeah. What do we think about the downfall of Trey Mitchell, huh? Obviously, he started out the year all SEC kind of guy. Now he is missing wide open shots. And at first, I think even a couple episodes back, I said that it was maybe due to the fact that he's not playing at the 5 anymore. But dude's missing layups. Dude's missing open shots that he was hitting before. I mean, how much should we be playing Mitchell at this point, like compared to what we used to?
I said we give him a game or two just to get back from injury. He was hurt. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more lenient when people are hurt. I am. But at the same time, I think you are correct. He is a shell of his former self at this point in the season. I do not understand what has happened here. It seems his jump shot seems a little off than what it was before. It looks like there's a broken mechanic in there, too. Because I remember before he got hurt, he was able to shoot the 3 ball a little bit. And he had taken some of those shots tonight, and it just didn't look like the normal shot that I'd seen at the beginning of the season. So I think they definitely need to hit back into the lab, get him some more rehab in, maybe. But I think if come tournament time, even SEC tournament time, we need to figure out if he can fix it now or it's going to be a later thing.
Well, like kind of piggybacking off what you said last week, I just want him to like rebound the ball. Like if you're not going to make shots, at least contribute in some other way that doesn't require any skill or abilities or talent. Just effort. That's all rebounding is. Like if nothing else, just try and help the team out that way if you can't make shots. But yeah, he's been rusty. He's coming off an injury. It doesn't look good right now. But I feel like he can knock some rust off. I sure hope he can. But, it doesn't look good right now. But, give him a couple more games, and he might shake it off.
Yeah.
I do have I noticed Devin gave me a look or two, just noticing, like, being able to keep...
You said give him a game or two. I mean, he said 2 games, though. I mean, you can put me out there, I'd do better. So, like...
Right, that's what
he's probably still hurt.
I felt like you had a qualm or two.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably still hurt, and he's probably playing through injury. But, I mean, 4 fouls in 12 minutes when you're, like, a net negative everywhere else...
Yep, absolutely. As somebody who has fantasy shares, I understand too.
At home against Vanderbilt on senior night, I'm just gonna assume he's still hurt and he's trying to play through it. I'd probably just be resting him at this point because these games we don't really need him for, and then save him for when we actually need him if he can get healthy. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me because, like Josh said, he's a completely different player than he was back in November and December. So
yeah, in some ways it seems like he's lacking the effort that he used to have too. I don't know, he just looks slow out there on defense sometimes. I mean, and on offense, it doesn't look like he's moving as well, spacing the floor as well. I mean, it's just all of his shots, he's coming down the court late. Somebody dumps the ball off to him, he shoots a 3 and he bricks it. Or in one case, I mean, I backed Vandy's player down and then had a beautiful post move, open layup, bricked it. And that I don't know, man. We might be the worst team in college basketball within a foot of the rim. I've seen so many blown layups this year; it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that for years.
Yeah, blowing
layups.
That's fair.
Yeah. In conference play, Trey Mitchell shooting 25% from beyond the arc and 42% from the field. So something ain't right. I don't know. So at this point, I'd rather just see Edwards than Adu play the 4.
Yep. Another thing I wanted to point out: double-digit games for both Edwards and Wagner. What do we think about that? Obviously, Edwards has had some moments here lately where he's looked like he's been improving, and Edwards, as of the last couple games here, has looked like he's kind of starting to get back to his former self pre-injury. What do you think about those guys getting double digits? Do you think if we get that consistently, that it's going to make a difference in March? It's going to, push us further in the tournament? Chad doesn't look optimistic.
No, he does not.
I mentioned before, I was making fun of these guys for never scoring in double figures. Guess what they did today? 11 and 10. Woohoo! They made it to double figures, just barely. You know who runs this team? It's still Rob Dillingham, and it's still Antonio Reeves. He can make shots. Those are the guys I want to rely on. It's nice to have those contributions from DJ and Justin, but when the push comes to shove, I want the guys that have been reliable all year, not the guys that just barely squeak by with, 10 points. Woohoo, we're in double figures. It's not for me. It's not for me.
I think we're being a little bit harsh here. We have gave Justin, Edwards, and DJ enough trash. They played a good game tonight. DJ made a big three, and Edwards made a big three as well. I think they're finally starting to get their footing a little bit. I'm going to give them credit where it's due. I'm very happy to see that Edwards is playing better. Very happy, because there were times when I was like, we just wasted a recruitment slot on this guy. We wasted a scholarship. But now I'm starting to see that hype, that player that we got looking forward to in the summer and stuff. So I'm going to give him credit where it's due.
I think it's interesting because, I know Trey Mitchell came back, but Justin Edwards' minutes are only 15 minutes per game the past three. When after the game against Alabama when he went off, so he had his best game of the season and his minutes went down, which I don't know, kind of an interesting. I mean, I know Trey came back, so there's another body.
That sounds like typical Cal behavior. It's a guy who's caught. Let's send him down.
I sound like a broken record at this point, mentioning Cal and struggling with minutes.
He was getting 20 plus a game, and then he goes off for 28 and shoots perfect from the field, and he's down to 15 minutes now. So
yeah,
I don't know. I like playing Adu the most out of our options there at that slot. So hopefully Cal agrees when it comes to tournament time.
Yeah, and to Chad's point earlier, I definitely by no means think that we should be running the offense through DJ or Edwards. It's definitely, Dilly and Reed, it's their show. But, if we can get this kind of contribution, if Edwards can hit a couple threes a game, if Wagner can hit a couple threes a game, and if they can just, play their best and give the most effort they have on defense, I think it's going to make a difference for sure. Don't need them to put up, 28-point games like Edwards did the other day. We just need them to, score a little bit, hit their open shots, and play aggressive on defense, and I think that's the best case scenario there. Let's go back to the previous week. Kentucky put up 111 points against Arkansas. Now, what do we think about that game? Obviously, again, we got over 100 points and showed off our offensive ability. But guess who also scored quite a bit? Arkansas also showed off our defense.
We're missing key info right here. We allowed 102 to Arkansas.
Yeah, 102.
There was a point that we were down, and we could have very well lost that game.
Yep.
If we play anything like that in the tournament, either tournament, we're not staying in that tournament. We're just not. We're not going to win those types of battles every time. We had a few lucky shots. People were on a nice streak there. A few heat checks, if you would say. We definitely got lucky on that end. We need to anchor down on defense during those games. We got to figure out what we need to do there. I think a lot of it comes in the fact that our big men combined for 300 pounds soaking wet. We have nobody that can back down anyone. It's just sad. We need to figure out someone that can do defensive strength and be able to anchor down those low block spots. We are struggling.
Yep. Too bad the only guy that does that is Adu Thiero, and he is half a foot shorter than some of these other guys. So, yeah, but, other than that, the defense was terrible. Had, some good games. I mean, offensively, there were 6-7 guys that got double-digit figures for Kentucky. But, to your point, defense is terrible. I mean, that the offense might be enough to get us past the first, second round, but you start getting to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, you got to have that defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the perimeter defense just isn't there, and I think like we need like switching all 5 positions on the ball, like on ball screens, is pretty good. I think that would work pretty well for us, and I think like going under screens, like hedging the screens, would help a lot. I just think like some of those possessions against Arkansas, like Wagner specifically, he was just trying to go over hedge the screen, go over it, and just was way too like far out, and Mark was just cooking him or battle later on in the game. So I think we can like hedge under screens and switch screens a little bit more, and maybe that'll help our perimeter defense. We know Cal's not gonna play zone, so I'm not gonna try to advocate for that that theory. But I mean, they shot like what 95% from the free throw line or something crazy. So I mean, I think their overall scoring numbers were a little inflated by an abnormal percentage there. But yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's not gonna get much better. But I think our offense is so good that we just need like marginal improvement, maybe 5 to 10, points per game less, and maybe they'll pay dividends in the tournament. But I'm not too optimistic, given our defense.
I just wish we would make some kind of adjustments whenever one guy or two guys on a team is just cooking us over and over again. Same moves, same, like he was saying, talking about the
I
screens.
agree.
They just run the same things. We don't know how to stop it, and the same guys is scoring on us and dropping like 30 points or whatever. It's just like it gets old watching that, and it's like, let's do something different. Let's switch something up here, because allowing 34 to somebody or 36 or whatever that battle guy had was, yeah.
That was going to
Not
be my
okay.
point exactly. We can't allow 30-point scorers in a game. We can't have people dropping 34 on our head. We just can't.
Noah's favorite 30-point performance.
My least favorite, because you hate giving out a prediction that they're going to do that and sharing it with your friends. You like giving out plus 1,200 hitters and not sharing. So that's my least favorite. But
I give you a winner anyway.
I guess you're right. I made a loser for you into a winner for me. So that's the best
One
thing.
rebound.
One rebound.
What he doesn't tell you is all the ones he misses, and he's like,
Big facts.
"Don't you wish I showed you this one that lost, or how about this one that lost?" He's like, "No,
Big
you only
facts.
want the winners. We already
Yeah,
posted the
yeah.
winners, so it's like, oh, we're not batting 100 here."
No.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think we got to lower that. We can't have nobody drop us 30 plus, 25 plus even, honestly. We can't have those 1 to 2 guys, like you said, like every time. As long as I've been growing up in Kentucky, there's always some random person that just goes off for no reason against us. Career highs.
We got the Doug guy, a whole NIL deal with B-dubs.
Exactly.
What's he doing now? No one knows, but I know because, I heard this the other day. He's at Bryant averaging 4 points a game with
I think it's 4 minutes a game.
4 minutes a game. Okay, 9 points minutes. Okay, great.
It's not against us, so he's not going to do good. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's what happens. That's very on brand for us.
That's very on brand and needs to stop.
Yeah, I mean, to Noah's point about the 30 points, and over half of his points came from free throws. So like that again, this goes to show how bad our defense. We have big men such as Bradshaw. You can just drive in the paint, bully him a little bit, and you're gonna get fouled, and that's a problem. So maybe Cal will experiment a little bit. Maybe we'll figure it out. Who knows? Let's talk about the Tennessee game we got coming up this Saturday, and then obviously after that we got tournament time. Second game this year against Tennessee. How do we think we're gonna play against them?
Let me go back to saying we need to stop 25 to 30 point performances because we need to
About
stop
to have
Dalton
another
Connect.
one. Yeah, about to have another one.
We need to stop Dalton from doing it. Like, if we can do that, that to me is the most major part of the game. If we can stop Dalton, I think we could limit them at maybe 70 points or so. I maybe even 60. I just taking him part out of that offense. I think we're okay.
Geez, Noah's a little bit ambitious, hoping
Yeah,
for
I'm
60
not-
when we
I'm not
allowed
too
them,
optimistic.
100 first time we played them.
I mean, Connect didn't have a good game in Rupp when we played him. We still were never really in the game. I mean, like never leading. So I don't know. I think Ziegler, like he had like one of his better games of the year, of course against us. But I mean, I think that just goes back to our perimeter defense. It's just pretty much non-existent. So I think he had like 26 and 13. He was orchestrating. It was a clinical orchestration performance from him. So, I mean, I think Connect will have a better game also. So, I'm not optimistic that we'll win. So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
is what it is. But the game doesn't really matter too much.
I mean, he's had over 10, 25-plus points this season already, and I think he's about to get 26. Last game of the regular season, going into SEC play, he's going to want to prove a point against Kentucky. So I think it's going to be a very, very, very difficult game to win.
Yeah, and I think Calipari has a losing record in bowling. So for what that's worth, we never win down there. I think the last time we won down there was like when we weren't any good, and it was like, okay, we were like double-digit underdogs.
Yeah,
I forgot what year that was.
So what I'm hearing is
CJ
money line.
Yeah,
they'll probably be 8.5 point favorites.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. All right, that wraps up Kentucky talk. Let's get into something different here. We've got over the past couple of years, we've gotten into UFC a bit, and we've got a huge card, maybe the biggest of the year, actually the biggest of the year, no doubt, no question about it so far. This Saturday, UFC 299, got Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Cheeto Vera. We're going to talk about the main card here and give some predictions. Devin, you want to talk about this first fight on the main card?
Wait, I would like to ask. Wait, how is 299 smaller than 300? I thought 300 is a huge.
No, because 300 hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's they're both. I mean, pretty close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
I mean, like 299 is just a better card.
I think, yeah, I think so too. I mean, main event's better, obviously. I mean,
I think it's deeper. I like the prelims more on 299. I mean, Blades Almeida isn't even on the main card.
Right.
It's probably like a number 1 contender fight. So.
Okay, I just didn't make sense to me. 300 seemed like a big milestone for a big card, no?
Oh, yeah, that's what you'd think, but I mean, it was a complete disaster how they orchestrated the whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, you lead us to believe that we're finally going to get McGregor, Chandler, or even other better fights, and then you hit us with Pereira and Hill. So it wasn't all that hype for an okay fight. I don't think it's a bad fight. It's going to be a good main event, but like no, and not what 300 should be.
Yeah, and I mean, like 301 is in Brazil, so I mean, they couldn't even save Pereira for his to headline his own country's card.
Right.
So they'll probably have to end up using Pantoja to headline the Brazil card, unless, I mean, Pereira mentioned coming back on short 3 weeks notice. I don't believe it, but
yeah.
So I mean,
wow.
That tells you how desperate they were, that they had to get Alex to use this card at 301. So. Yeah, but no, 299 was my most anticipated, and kicking off the main card with a bantamweight banger between Petr Yan and Yadong Song. Yeah, I think the line's pretty interesting. I mean, it's pretty much a pick-em, slight favorite for Yan, and I know Yan's on a 3-loss streak here, so he's had a couple rough matchups, but I still think he'll bounce back in this fight. I think he's just way better striking. I think he has some of the best striking in the sport, actually. So I know stylistically they're pretty much the same fighter. Both pretty elite striking, not much ground game. So I expect it to be 15 minutes on the feet, and I kind of just expect Yan to kind of figure him out over the course of the 15 minutes. Probably come on strong late once he gets his timing down. He's just so technical and so advanced, and you can see it in a lot of the fights, especially like the Corey Sandhagen one. I think that was the interim fight. I mean, you could just see when he once he figures out the timing and the rhythm. I don't think there's anyone that can really compete with him on the feet. So I'm hoping Song maybe has a little trick up his sleeve. Maybe tries to get to the ground. I don't think Yan's takedown defense is too spectacular against the elite guys, but maybe he can stifle anything in this fight. But I expect it to be on the feet and him to outpace him. I mean, he beat Sean O'Malley in my book too, so pretty impressive win if you give it to him. So.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Yan too. It's definitely going to be a stand and bang. I think Yadong also has some pretty good striking. He's got knockout power as well. I think Yan is a little bit better of a wrestler, so maybe he could surprise us and try to shoot for a takedown. I don't think that would be a bad idea. But I do, for the most part, think it's going to be standing and banging. I lean Yan. Obviously, coming off a 3-loss fight, he's going to want to win one, and this is definitely the one that he should win. And to your point, I think he beat O'Malley too. Some might even say they think that he beat Sterling. They were both close fights. He's been with those top guys, and I lean Jan for this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's like a case of like Jan's washed or anything. I just,
Yeah.
a lot of when you see like an aging fighter like going a 3-loss fight streak, like I don't think it's anything like that. I think he probably won one, if not two, of those 3 fights. So, and Rob was just a terrible stylistic matchup, so no surprise there. But I think this is definitely more of his speed in this matchup.
Yep.
We need to have like these judge rankings or records for these fighters, and then who actually won the fight records, and compare those two, because that's what I can't stand. It's like, what fights are these judges watching? Sometimes I don't get it.
And there's at least one every card. Like if you only have one in a card, like that was a good performance for the judge. Like they never get it right. It's crazy how incompetent it is, and nothing changes. Like it's just the way it is for 2+ years at this point, if not longer. So you just gotta deal with it and just know you're gonna get jobbed occasionally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's move on to the next fight here. These are two of my favorite fighters in the welterweight class. I think this is going to be a banger matchup. Gilbert Burns and Jack Della Maddalena. What do we think here, Big D? What do we got?
Oh, this is probably the toughest one for me. I was on the Burns train initially until the Usman loss, and then I kind of backed off. But then I bought back in one after that Chimaev fight. So, man, I'm really torn. I mean, a couple of close fights for JDM. I mean, this couple back-to-back split decisions, I believe, against Holland and Buzzell or whatever. So, I don't know. I think I lean Burns. I'm gonna assume that the down performance against Bilal was due to that shoulder injury, and that he can bounce back in this fight. So I think I'm gonna give the experience and the edge to Burns here. I think JDM probably has a higher ceiling if he can reach his potential, but I'm just a little bit worried that he doesn't have the experience and yet to compete with Burns in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Burns as well. He's had some time off. He's been able to train for a while. Obviously, last year he had 3 fights within as many months. I mean, he was just going crazy, and beat Masvidal during that time. Obviously, fought Bilal Muhammad with one arm and still went to decision. I hate Bilal. Throwing that out there. Gilbert Burns in a rematch would destroy him, I think. But yeah, I got to go Gilbert. I love Deli. He's a good fighter. He's a good striker. They're both pretty good strikers. I don't know. I think if Gilbert can take Deli's jabs, I think he's going to be fine. I kind of think this is going to go to a decision. Do you think there's any other possible ending to this match?
No, I think it's pretty much going to be a decision fight here. I mean, I'm excited. I always like these like grappler versus grappler matchups, because I'm always excited to see if it hits the ground, and there's just so many levels to the grappling exchanges. But I expect JDM will keep it on the feet instead of trying to test Burns. And sometimes when they're both that high level, they just kind of cancel out and they both just want to stand and trade and strike.
Yeah.
That's pretty common when you have 2 elite grapplers. So I'll be interested to see kind of how the game plans strategies play out in this fight. But I think Burns has the best overall game experience to stifle JDM here.
Yeah, it's definitely grappler versus striker fight, and and Burns I think is enough to keep up with him on his feet, and then if the fight goes to the ground, I think Burns has got it for sure. So
yeah,
I think you're underplaying JDM's ground game here.
I mean, he's all right. I mean, I think he's a good grappler, but I just think Burns is a better grappler.
I agree, but let's not act like JDM's a fish out of water on the mat.
I mean, not necessarily, but it's just Burns is so much better, I think, on the floor.
I'll just say that if you can get Burns ever at plus money, I think it's a good bet, because he's always in every single fight he's in. The Chimaev fight that he was like, I don't know, plus 500 or whatever, something like that, plus 400, was in that fight. I threw Chimaev in a couple parlays thinking it was just to boost the odds a little bit, and I was like, wow, this guy's not going away. That fight was amazing. They were just trading punches on the feet. This one, though, take Burns, take the plus money and see what happens, because he's going to be in the fight.
Yeah. I think that might be the most popular bet for the weekend is Burns because of the value you're going to be getting. So I agree. I agree with that for sure. All right, let's go on to the next fight here. We just mentioned him before when we were talking about Della Maddalena. We've got Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page making his UFC debut. So what do we think about this fight?
It might just be me, but I'm not a Michael Page guy at all. I took Yamamuchi against him in his last Bellator fight. Of course, that ended as before the fight even started. But he's like 36, about to be 37. I just think he's washed. He's just washed. I'm convinced he's washed. I think the level of competition in Bellator, the guys he was competing against, just not the same level as the top 15 in the UFC. And I'm a big Kevin Holland guy. I think sometimes the Wonderboy fight, he didn't take it as serious, maybe a little bit too 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 friendly for my liking. I'd like to see more of a competitive nature. But I think he's pretty dangerous on the ground if he could get it there. I think he definitely have an advantage there. He definitely has a couple of club and subs in his resume, so I thought he was pretty good against JDM also. So I mean, a couple good recent performances. He takes some fights I don't think he's are good matchups for him. He loves to be active, so I respect him for that. And I think this is definitely the weight class for him, so he's performed well. So I like him to give MVP his first loss in the UFC.
I am the complete opposite. This is the one fight that I have a little research on. I've been waiting for just one match for me to be able to talk about and not sound like an amoeba. But I would absolutely put money on Page here. I think that he has that really wacky, out of traditional kind of style of fighting. And 1 minute you could be grappled up with him, and then the next minute he has a spinning heel kick for your head. He just has that really random sense of offense. And I personally believe that he was a bare knuckle boxer. So that he has the chin, and if he can defend his chin against Holland and he even take a few punches if he needs to, I think he's able to withstand the fight and maybe even go to decision and put some points up. I truly do believe that.
Yeah. I don't agree. I'm going with Holland as well. His striking is just so good. And recently, his grappling has been getting better and better. So if it goes to the ground, I think Holland's got the edge there. The one thing you do worry about is Page's unorthodox style with his striking. But a guy like Holland, I think he's fought enough guys that are I think are better than Page. I think Della Maddalena was better than Page, and he had a good fight with him. I think he's just had really good experience in his UFC career so far. I don't think it's gonna phase him much. And to Devin's point, also Page is 36, going on 37. I don't know. It's this guy
too old for me.
Too old. You got a young guy with a lot of potential, has proven himself quite a bit. He's fought very consistently, and I think he's just going to be more prepared. I think he's going to be ready, and I think it's going to be a striking battle for sure. But he's got the edge, both striking and grappling, in my opinion. So I got to go Holland as well.
I'm going Holland because I don't know who Michael Page is. So.
I'm just going to say,
he's got the lead highlight reel.
Yeah. Just go ahead and ride. Fade me the whole weekend, guys. Just fade me.
Now, wait, if Page does win, we'll come back to this, and you'll have your.
I will revel in my glory.
We'll give you your dues.
Yeah,
we'll give you your dues.
Yep, for sure. So let's move on to the next fight. We've got the co-main here, big fight. Devin's a big Benoit Saint Denis guy, so I'll let you talk about this. We got Saint Denis versus Poirier.
Yeah, I'm all over BSD here. Benoit Saint Denis, been on the hype train for a while. I remember against the Bonfim Twim, we got him plus 250, plus 300, whatever it was. He made light work out of the undefeated fighter there. So I'm excited. I'm excited they gave him this opportunity. I really am. Normally, these top elite guys, they don't want to take these fights against these lower ranked guys that are up and coming. But I think it's a terrible matchup for Poirier. Honestly, I think Benoit Saint Denis could have his way with him on the mat, and I think he's definitely able to get it there. not really a Poirier guy either. He's coming off that knockout loss also. So first fight back from a knockout, you're always shaking off the cobwebs initially. So I'm hoping Benoit Saint Denis could find a little sub here. A little early round sub. I kind of like that. Probably a decision, maybe just controls him on the ground. But I definitely don't anticipate any trouble on the mat. So I'm still a little unsold about his striking. I think it's probably maybe better than I think, but I just don't know if I can trust it against Poirier. But I would definitely like him to get it to the ground and find a victory here.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Saint Denis is the more all-around fighter. Obviously, Poirier's got good striking. I don't think. Saint Denis got good striking too, but if he can get it to the ground, like you said, I think sub is very, very live. If that gets to the ground, I think Saint Denis is going to get a lot of control time. Poirier is not as good of a grappler, so I think he's just going to dominate, and he's just a lot more athletic than Poirier as well. Terrible fight for Poirier. Why would you agree to this? I don't know. If Poirier wins,
he tried not to. He tried not to.
He did. If he wins, though, I mean that. The washed comments, you got to start to question because maybe he's not. But yeah, I lean Saint Denis as well.
I'm surprised he's minus 200. That line seems a little bit long. Yeah, I just feel like Vegas would give more respect to Poirier than that. But
yeah,
definitely a bad stylistic matchup for sure.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's get on to the main event here. We've got Sugar Show. We got Sean O'Malley versus Cheeto, Marlon Vera, and their rematch. Obviously, last time Cheeto got the win over Sean. What do we think this time? I kind of lean Sean.
I'm just gonna go on the record and say I would pick Sean every single fight he's in because dude's crazy, and I'm not fighting crazy. I'm not betting against crazy. I'm not doing none of that. He's got clown hair. That's what I like about him. I don't know anything else.
All right.
I just know he's. I know. No, but like seriously, like his fighting style, he's just like a maniac out there, and I'm just like, I don't want any part of it. I don't want to go against that. So.
Yeah.
There was a point when Sean O'Malley was like out the Contender Series where Chad and I would just turn on random cards every now and then, and I swear Sean O'Malley was on every single one of them.
Yeah.
Just flatlining some dude. so I've always been a big Sean guy, and I think I like him to get his revenge here this weekend. I definitely think he'll get his first title defense. I just don't like the slow starts from Cheeto Vera. He always loses the first round. I mean, before the Munoz fight, he hadn't won the first round in like 8 consecutive fights. So I mean, he just does not have the volume really, I think, to compete with Sean. I mean, he could land a couple knockdowns, maybe. Like I think Sean's chin is pretty good, so I'm not too confident in that. But I think that's probably his best path to victory. I mean, he won that fight against Font just because he got those like late round knockdowns. So he stole a couple rounds like that. But I mean, you can just out volume Cheeto. You really can. I mean, you've seen it over and over again in all these fights. He comes on late, but I think Sean has good cardio to keep up with him, and Sean will have a great reach advantage. I definitely think he knows how to use in these matchups. You saw it against the Munoz fight. He stayed at range. He has good kicks. So I definitely think the champion will get his first title defense here, and the UFC is going to want him to win for sure.
Oh yeah, he's the golden boy.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to agree here. I think we all go Sugar. We're all going Sugar O'Malley here. To Devin's comment about his reach, I think that's going to play a lot into it as well. I also believe that this counter-striking ability is going to play in here as well. Sugar has the chin to go against Vera's strikes, and he just starts too slow, and that cardio is going to keep up with him for a while, and he's going to be able to wait until Vera's worn down, and he's going to find that one strike that's misplaced, mistimed, just that one mistake, and I think it's going to end in a knockout off a counter strike. I do believe that's going to play. And if it does go to the ground, I do believe in O'Malley's ability to wrestle as well. He's very underrated in wrestling. And I give or take. So I do believe that he has the advantage here in a lot of different aspects against Vera.
Yeah. maybe an underrated wrestler. I don't know if I love that. I think if Cheeto gets him on the ground, that's going to be a scary situation. Obviously, he got through Aljamain Sterling, and in the exact same way that you said, Sterling went for a shot. Sean O'Malley countered, got the knockout. It was beautiful. Everybody was scared that Sterling was going to get him on the ground and he was going to lose the fight. I think that kind of plays here a little bit too. Cheeto's obviously, a good striker as well, but he is a slow starter. He's just a gritty fighter. Like I don't know if I love knockout in this fight just because Cheeto doesn't ever get knocked out. He doesn't ever get subbed. He just does not get finished ever. So I don't really know. Like, does Sean O'Malley knock him out? What do you think, Devin?
I don't anticipate that. I mean, he has the power to do it, but I think he'll want to stay at range so much and just kind of outpace him. I think that's probably the more optimal path to victory here. I mean, if he catches him, he catches him, but I'll probably be anticipating a Sean by decision victory here.
Yeah, and if you like, Sean in this fight, definitely look for the method of victory. Like if you're betting on it, because you can get plus odds. I think if you get O'Malley by points or something instead of laying like, what is he, like 3-1 favorite juice. Like don't ever do that. Please don't do that. Like you're better off. You know how they're gonna win the fight. Just do it that way and get better value. But, with points, you think you got it, and then you got to, sweat out the judges' scorecards more so than the actual fight itself. So
that's true.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
And if you're going to bet Cheeto, I think the most optimal plan is to wait after round 1 and try to live bet him. He's not going to win the first round, so you're just going to get extra juice on that number. So I would not take him pre-fight unless you want to take him by like knockout or method. But if you're just going to bet him to win the fight, I would wait and live bet him until he drops around.
Yep, and that is not gambling or financial advice. Everybody, throwing that out there. Just
nice disclaimer, Josh. Nice disclaimer.
Just hypothetical. Just want to make that very clear. Yeah, we got a Sugar Show winning $2.99 there. So that's what we got for UFC 299. Let's get into our weekly segment here. We've got Chad's movie suggestion of the week. Obviously, last week came out with a banger, said Whiplash, and one of us did our homework. Me and Devin had already seen it, but Noah did indeed watch Whiplash over the week. What did you think? What's your review?
Your definition of banger and my definition of banger are two different things. Oh, jeez.
He's on my side. I told you.
I could not agree with Devin more. I got the gist of the movie, like, within the first 15 minutes. Guy tries to impress other guys so much that it alters his life's decisions and has to impress other things as the movie goes on. And then at the end of the movie, guy impresses guy so much that it makes him happy. The end. Ta-da! That's Whiplash. That's it. And I personally, I will give them this. J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller make the movie. I was completely wrong in what I said about Miles Teller last week. Like, I need to do further research. I was completely wrong. I'm absolute. And J.K. Simmons, Hall of Fame. Absolute Hall of Fame. However, if I have to hear J.K. Simmons, where you ratting or where you jacket? Where you ratting or where you jacket? I can't do it. The kid, he literally starts slapping him over the, like, if that's how, genuinely, Devin had said that it brings back PTSD from being in band. If that's what you all had to go through in band, God bless you. I'm sorry. I could never imagine going through such barbaric shit of having to deal and listen to that shit. I'm sorry. But to the credit, it did ended with a happy ending. Everything finished nice. Like, it was okay. I can see why it got the awards, but it just wasn't for me. Like, it just, you knew what the plot, and also, what the hell is the subplot with the woman? Why? What relevance?
That part's terrible.
What relevance to it? Like, I'm socially awkward and can't flirt, so we're gonna try and combine it into the movie plot. Man, like, that's it. Like, one of the worst lines in the entire movie is like, "You look at the carpet when you're looking at me." What? Like, that's so random.
It's W Riz.
That's such Riz. And then and the next line after, it's like, yeah, so the person singing this song in the roof, yeah, I can play this on drums. Like, it's just so bad. I'm sorry.
Forget me suggesting movie segments. Well, let's have a Noah movie recap segment instead.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, burying the lead over here.
I'm sorry. It's just 3 stars seem generous even for me.
I lost brain cells listening to that. I swear to God. I don't know.
Here, I can recite what I said on Letterboxd.
Like,
We already got the impersonation.
Yeah,
You're
you're good.
We got it.
I would like to keep my remaining brain cells, please. I to your point, I do kind of understand the subplot with the girl. I think that is maybe my only nitpick of the movie. They could have done that better. But making fun of one of the best scenes in the movie. What?
Oh, God.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's iconic. It's iconic.
Oh my God, somebody give me a pillow so I could sleep on this opinion. Holy!
Oh my God, dude. Holy. Oh my God.
Dude, there's no way, though. No, there's no way.
Somebody give me a pillow so I can go to sleep and stop listening to your shitty opinion. Because this is terrible. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
That is one of the best
Chad,
scenes.
drive us home. Chad, drive us home, brother. What is the suggestion this week? And I pray and hope. Watch it be ambulance or something. I don't know.
Hey, that might come up here in a second. That might come up here. Wait, you didn't like the out of tune scene either, where it's like, "Are you out of tune?" He's like, yes. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
No, he was in tune, but he didn't know it, so he kicked him out of the class. Yeah. Oh, you didn't like that either? No. Man, I don't know what to do with these guys. I almost called an audible from this next one, because if I can't get one of you higher than a 3-star on my suggestions, I need to do something better. I need to get you all
back 3 stars. Back to back.
I know. I was like, this one is not going to be it, especially for Noah, because again, with this week, only one that hasn't seen it, as far as I know. It's not logged on his letterbox because he doesn't keep it up to date, but he might surprise me. But next movie we got here this week is The Princess Bride. Oh, okay. His headphones are off.
Has he seen this one?
Has he seen it? Maybe he has.
This is
He needs to
good.
put his mic back on.
I haven't seen it, but I can't wait for the reasoning behind this.
Okay. Oh, man. So the movie clearly does not take itself very seriously at all, even a little bit, even though, the plot in it would be. But I wish they would, take out the whole storytelling, part of it, because, every time I jumped back and forth to that, I was just not having it. I was like, let's get back to the thing. But Wallace Shawn is what makes this movie for me. I wish he was in the movie longer. He says inconceivable a million times, and just liking the movie would be just inconceivable. And then, Indigo and what's his face? The big French wrestler guy. What's his name?
So, if you are talking about the movie from 1987, okay.
That is correct. That is correct.
I did not. I didn't even know who was in this movie, so I gave it a quick look. And okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But the Indigo and Andre characters were hilarious. The whole Wallace Shawn thing, like I said, was hilarious. I just love it. It's a fun time. It doesn't take itself seriously. Don't watch it taking itself seriously. Watch it. It's hilarious, and would be just inconceivable if you didn't like it. So that's my movie this week.
I bet this movie's going to be inconceivable.
I agree with Chad. It's a good movie. I gave it 4 stars.
It
was way funnier than I expected too. It's just a good time.
Yeah.
You're not going to get bored during it. You're going to be laughing the whole time. So it's I couldn't agree more.
I'm on board.
Noah's going to love it. Noah's going to love it.
All right.
Yeah, this is just a good time movie. So
Okay.
if you don't like this one, yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'll be in the minority if that's the case.
Should have done the Green Mile or something for him.
That's one of the greatest movies ever made. Don't at me. First of all, granted, it's one of the longest, but that's one of the best ever.
Yeah. So I mean, I was kind of sus when you were like, "Oh, really?" And then plus, every time a movie is like 3 hours long, I'm just like, "Oh, get me out." No, that one. I was like, I was not
Yes.
expecting it to be as good as it
Thank
was.
you.
So
I'm
you were
so-
actually, I was actually with you on that one.
Thank you. Thank the Lord.
But yeah, so go watch Princess Bride. It's a little under an hour 40. So knock it out.
Come back next week for when I rant this into the ground.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to that for sure. So we got the movie suggestion out for you guys this week. Email us, tweet us, let us know what you think of The Princess Bride. Let's get on to the last little segment here. I'm going to throw out our weekly PGA picks this week. Didn't win last week, obviously. Austin Eckroat got his first win in his PGA career, so it's just like, how am I supposed to predict that? I don't know. Take a lottery ticket. So
You didn't bet on his putting.
Yeah, keep picking the favorites. Yeah, that'll work for you.
I picked like one favorite. I picked Hoygaard. Sorry, it was a terrible card. Like, there was nobody that was good on that. So I mean, Austin Eckroat won. So obviously, but
Pick Eric Cole.
did I pick Eric Cole?
I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure he was like the worst in the field. So I mean, at least you got
He
the last
was.
place.
He was. Okay. He was doing great. I mean, he had multiple top 10 finishes this year. He was a stud. And then all of a sudden, he just shot a +6 in like the first round. Like, I can do that. Like,
Stud in the duds.
Stud in the duds, as he would. I mean, Jesus. But this week we got the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Unlike the last couple of weeks, this is a stacked field. A field of 69 players. Ayo. And we got some good ones here. So first pick. Not if it depends on what Devin considers a favorite, but he's like not even like one of the top 5 guys. I've got what?
Scotty Scheffler.
I do like Scotty Scheffler. I'm not taking Scotty.
There we go.
Favorite golfer. I'm not taking him. I'm not suggesting him. I like him though. First golfer we got Sam Burns plus 2,800. This is a long course. The course is over 7,000 yards, so you're going to want to get some guys who are good off the tee. And he is 14th in strokes gained, so he's really good. He's got some power behind him. He has 4 straight top 10 finishes. And he's just like one of the hottest players right now. So I think go with a guy who is looking for a heat check here. Go with Sam Burns. Going to be a good pick. Next up, also plus 2,800, I've got Cam Young. Another guy who's good off the tee. He got 4th last week at the Cognizant Classic. Got 8th in Phoenix. He's great off the tee, and he is 17th in greens and regulation gained. So he's very accurate on those par 3s. He even hits the green on some par 4s because of his power. So that's the kind of guy you want. Next, we get a little bit deeper here. We got plus 5,000. I know Devin's starting to get a little more excited here now that the numbers are getting bigger. He likes that. We got Harris English, got 7th at the Genesis Invitational. Devin's looking weird. I don't know. He said
That one, I'm not expecting that name to come out your mouth.
I'm going with guys who are good off the tee, and he is one of them. He's got multiple top 20 finishes this season, and I think plus 5,000 is a good number for him. He's looking to get his first win of the year. And then lastly, we got a guy plus 8,000 on this card. Devin, he's going to lose his mind. He's going to lose his mind. If this guy wins, then who knows? But we've got Tom Hogue.
Ooh.
Oh, Devin loves that one. Devin loves that one. But let me tell you.
I know it's a good pick when I'm like, who? That's how I know it's a good pick.
That's how you know it's a good pick. But this guy got 8th at the Genesis Open, tied for 6th at Pebble Beach. His approach game is one of the best in the PGA this season. He's so good with his irons, and with if he can dial in off the tee. From 200 yards in, 300 yards in, he's dialed. Everything is just so good. He's really good at avoiding bogeys. He gets in situations, where he has a insane par putt or a chip or something, and he just finds ways to, pull it off and get the par. So that's something that you want to look for as well as somebody who's good at avoiding bogeys, and I think Tom Hogue is a good pick. Those are my 4 picks. Take them to win. Take them top 10, top 20. Maybe even take them, in their matchups with some other guys that they're playing with. Hey, those are my guys. What do we think, huh? Better odds this week?
Better odds this week for sure.
I could tell you anything at all because I don't follow golf. So
I can't wait for Cameron Young to finish next to last and miss the cut. But otherwise we'll be all right.
All right, the Eric Cole travesty was it was horrible. It was horrible. Hey, who would have expected him to do that? I don't know. They
told you it was
they replaced him with me. So, yeah, those are my picks. Again, not financial, not gambling advice. From what I hear, I think we need to get Noah out on the golf course sometime. Get him playing and putting.
Absolutely not. Okay.
How about putt?
You'll catch me on any mini putts. Catch me on any putt course. I'll go with you all day.
We can get you on the green. It's the same thing.
I have like over 100 hours on Golf with Friends. Works for me.
To translate, maybe that's the secret.
Yes.
That might be the move. I'm gonna have to hit up Scotty and be like, hey, you ever played golf with friends? Might make you win one finally.
Yeah.
Hey, we know his putter needs some work.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, fellas. Good episode. Devin, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yeah, like always, feel free to check us out on social media.
Man,
What is Chad?
I had a pick. I thought we were doing picks. I had a pick.
Oh, you got a winner?
I do have a winner. Yes.
I mean, your record's so good at this point.
I would like to return back to the Flyers money line pick I had last week. That hit
That's
too.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. You got golf. I'm piggybacking. I'm doing another golf one. Surprise! Woohoo! So found this prop on DraftKings. It's nationality props. So this one that I have is between Great Britain and Irish golfers. So we got 6 on the board. We got Rory, Tommy, Matt, Shane, Justin Rose, Seamus Power. Right?
Kevin.
They're all grouped. Wait. It's just a group of 6. Just a group of 6.
Okay.
We got Rory to beat all of them at plus 130. He's a much better golfer than all these guys. Matt Fitzpatrick is so bad. I watched him, choke away something a long time ago. Not a big Matt Fitzpatrick fan. As long as he can fend off Tommy Fleetwood.
Brother, this course was built for Matt Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's been good this year. Okay. All right, sure.
I watched him one time just be so bad.
I watched him one time.
Yeah, one time. Yeah. I'm not worried about the Irish guys either. I think Rory's just way better than all these guys, group of guys, and you get plus odds for it. So he just has to beat this group of people. So what if he doesn't win?
Chad's about to experience the Rory experience once and for all. Let me tell you, it's not a fun ride.
Oh boy!
You might as well just go pick Minwoo Lee to win the whole thing plus 4,000. There's your shark pick right there.
Don't do that.
Definitely do that. Off air, I told Josh, I'm gonna pick Minwoo Lee this week. He said, "Oh, that's a good pick. I like that pick." And then we get on the podcast. He says, "Don't do that," acting like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't like that pick actually. I just wanted to make you feel good about yourself.
He doesn't know a shark play when he sees one.
All right. Anybody else have any surprise picks?
Devin, take us out because I don't have one this week. I'm out.
All right. Well, like always, feel free to check us out on social media. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, at FTS Pod. And if you want to go check out the video form of this podcast, we're running that these days, go ahead and find us on YouTube at From the Sidelines Pod. Feel free to drop a subscribe on that. Watch our old podcast on there. Drop a like, drop a comment. Josh and I dropped a little Oscars preview if you're looking for some content before Sunday, so you can get our take on the Oscars. So go check that out. You can find a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or anywhere else you get your podcast. And if you have any questions, you want to leave your Whiplash review, tell Noah that he's valid for that take, like I would.
Thank you.
Go ahead and send us an email to theftspod@gmail.com.
Bye.
Have a great time. Are you rushing or are you dragging?